welcome. This is Ken Smith in Vancouver, British Columbia. What I'd like to do is share some very important information with you about a major project that's in the process of being launched, and a project that you could capitalize on based on the information that I'm going to share with you here. First of all, it's about a 40-year-old company that was traded on the New York Stock Exchange up until summer of 2011, when it was purchased for $650 million. The company that made the purchase is Mid-Ocean Partners. So if you go on the internet to midoceanpartners.com, you can learn a lot more about the individuals that are involved here, an incredible brain trust of individuals. And of course, with a $650 million investment, it takes some very clever business people to put that kind of money together, but once again, to take it to much higher levels and to expand the amount of return on that investment. If you click on team at that website, you'll see the number of individuals there, like the former three-term governor of the state of New York, Mr. George Pataki. You'll also see the former senior vice president of Dun & Bradstreet, the former vice chairman of Chrysler Corporation, the former senior vice president of Visa USA, several people with law degrees from Harvard, Stanford, Cornell, individuals from Turner, Showtime Broadcasting, and the list goes on and on and on. I encourage you to take a look at that group of individuals to gain a measure of confidence of who would be behind the growth and development of a company like this. Also, that company has an alliance with Kroll. Kroll is the #1 investigative firm, the #1 forensic accounting firm that does all the background checks for Homeland Security in the U.S. It did the Canadian government sponsorship scandal, provided the security measures when the most recent Pope was installed, was responsible for security measures and retrieving the gold bullion from under the Twin Towers in New York after 9/11. So a highly regarded firm. And once again, you can go to Kroll.com and just see who's involved there. They are the ones that actually do the investigative work when somebody wants to evaluate a huge business proposition. A couple of the most recent additions as managing directors for that company are, #1, Douglas Franz, who was formerly the Deputy Staff Director and Chief Investigator for the U.S. Senate Foreign Relations Committee and a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist. He joined the firm as a managing director recently. Also, Keith Kelly, who was the supervising agent for the FBI in the Bernie Madoff fraud investigation. So very, very adept and qualified individuals to evaluate a business opportunity, and believe me, they've decided they want to be involved in this one in a big way. Also, with the kind of finances that are available, the connections that are available from Mid-Ocean Partners, they've been able to go out and find, for example, Decision Analyst. Now, Decision Analyst is the largest privately owned marketing research firm in the U.S., and they have, over the period of the last number of years, represented a list of companies, most of whom you'd be very familiar with, and I'm going to run down a list of some of the examples. They're the ones that do the branding and marketing for Visa, AT&T, Johnson & Johnson, Kraft Foods, Sears, NASDAQ, Quaker, Target, Texas Instruments, Radio Shack, Nestle, Honeywell, Sprint, Yahoo, Hallmark, Verizon, Pier 1 Imports, Heinz, and Intel, to name just a few of them. So this is a very expensive organization, but certainly the most capable, and they're in the process of doing all the rebranding and the marketing for us. Also, as we speak, the development and the production of the media campaign that will come out on MSNBC, CNN, and Fox, and soon to be many other places, is being looked after by Mercury Media. Now, Mercury Media is North America's largest privately owned full-service direct response advertising agency, and just to give you a frame of reference, they're the ones that produce the Budweiser commercials for the Super Bowl. They also currently produce the Mayhem series of commercials for Allstate Auto Insurance, so definitely the best of the best, the top of the top. Costly to have, but they're the ones that are going to do the best job. Some other endorsements, for example, one of the consultants, one of the people that's been on cable television saying what an incredible service that we offer and that he owns the service himself, is Mike Moore, who's the former Attorney General for the state of Mississippi. He actually starred in a movie and played himself in that movie along with Al Pacino and Russell Crowe. The movie was called The Insiders, and he actually was the individual that won the largest class action suit in the history of the world when they took on the tobacco company. So, definitely a great endorsement there. Another individual, Mr. Harry Alford, the president of the U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce, has been on many cable network television exposés talking about how he recommends this to the organization that he's involved with. So now when you go back to midoceanpartners.com, learn a bit more about them. They're actually located in Park Avenue, New York, and London, England. And what they do is find extraordinary value propositions and then go out and market and promote those propositions until that company becomes a household word. And here's a short list of some of the companies that they either currently own or have owned and have made familiar to you. Bushnell, the binoculars company, South Beach Diet, Hunter Fan, Jenny Craig, Totes Isotoner, just to name a few. And when you go to that site, if you click on portfolio, you'll see companies that they currently or formerly did own. So where we're at the moment is that we're about to take this to the masses. We already have about 4 million individuals that are covered by a membership that gives affordable access to legal service. We also have coverage for a good percentage of those people for the identity theft reparation, and then are offering our legal service access and consultancies for marketing, advertising, tax and accounting, human resources to small businesses of 100 employees or less. So, just an incredible brain trust of individuals, and I think that most people would understand that any organization that could pull together $650 million, first of all, you have to be pretty intelligent to get the money together, but secondly, you're going to do an awful lot of homework before you put that kind of money on the line. We have currently created well in excess of 150 individuals that have earned over $1 million with this company, but we're headed for a much higher number than that now that the awareness is going to be heightened, now that the people are going to hear about this company and the way that we're transforming the way people access the justice system in North America. So what I'd encourage you to do is get back to the individual that invited you to listen to this information so you can learn more about how you might be able to participate as we take this right across the North American marketplace. And instead of 4 million individuals we cover, we're looking actually to cover 100 million families. We have 65,000 businesses now. Our objective there is in the 500,000 mark, and between now and when we reach that goal, there'll be a lot more individuals that benefit financially from this. So once again, this is Ken Smith from Vancouver, British Columbia. Appreciate the opportunity to share the information. Get back to the person that asked you to call this number and get a little bit more information and get your questions answered. Bye-bye for now.